as well. But she's looking towards and he's looking towards each other. So I'll sort of use that in my advance when I go to shading and colouring. Maybe I'll get around to colouring and shading today. I'm not sure about colouring because colouring is always on a Wednesday, guys. Tuesday is always inking, and Wednesday is always going to be the sketch day until Inktober comes along, because every day will be a sketch day, because I'll be doing a picture every single day in October, guys. So if you want to join me live, then you can join me any day of the week. But don't forget, if you are new, don't forget to hit subscribe, ding the bell for you know when I've gone live, or you can watch it back at your own leisure. I know a couple of you guys do that, so I am very, very thankful for you guys doing that. So without further ado, let's get on with what we were doing. If you want to see how I drew all of this, check out yesterday's stream. That music's a bit loud. Let's turn that down. So yeah, we've given you a shrink down. Again, I made my standout logo, guys. If you're new to the channel, go and check it out. It is in the Creation Station playlist, where you can find all my artworks that I've been doing for the past year. This is, again, the last page of my sketchbook before Inktober, which will be when October starts, which is what I'm going to be doing. This is fortuitous. It's really, really strange how this book has run out at the time where I'll be starting in October. I kind of thought I would get around to doing October last year. I never did, but I got this book and I thought I'd do a picture every single week, get different themes. There's been different themes throughout the year in this book, guys.
While you're listening to your
Excuse me, don't interrupt me.
I'm running down to a Kia dealer to catch a
I
glimpse
don't
of the
care about your Kia. We're actually listening to Spotify today, so the adverts will be a little bit more different, but I got to turn them down because I get copyright on the adverts, believe it or not. Anyway, we're going to be sketching today. Like I said, we showed you how to do the arms, skeleton arms, and did all the different things, where to put the balls, where to put the chipolata sausage legs, and all the other good stuff. Go along with that. I did put a spear in his hand. Like I said, I was going to gesture it. I kind of think when I was more and more looked at it, kind of needed something there to show why he was standing in an awkward position. With the female, she's kind of standing in a, I don't know, would you call that a koi? Would you call that like, I don't know, it's just in a pose that, oh, he's leaving kind of pose. Well, I guess. I don't know. I just drew what I saw. I wasn't mainly aiming to get them to be looking at each other, but without noticing, I've actually got him looking at her and her looking at him. So we might sort of use that and when I go around to colouring in. Again, I'm not going to put any faces on these characters. I'm not going to put any hands on these characters. I'm just showing you body shape and how to draw body shape, where things roughly should go. So music back up. I'm going to be able to go numb. Wait. And still adverts. I'll leave it down low. So it's Tuesday. We go around everything that we've inked already. So that's what I'm going to do. Let's move you to the side. Start on the male. Start on that male and get it done. What we normally do with ink is just go over what we've already drawn first, where the pencil is, and that's kind of the reason you sketch before you draw. Sketch before you ink. You know where everything's going to be. There's the head shape there. I'm not going to put in all the little extra. No, should I put? Let me know in the comment section. Should I put the balls in? Because you know what I do. I normally get rid of the sketch lines underneath after I've inked. I'm not sure if I should leave them here because of the shape of the hand. I'm doing the shape of the. You'll see how much that's popping out. The shape of things, and you want to. Is this more for learning, less for something I want to draw? That's good to go in it. If you have already put a little bit of shading in, you can use your pen. I'm going to turn that busy down because I'm shouting over it. You always, if you've got a little bit of shading here, go over your line that you've drawn in it a few times, and it gives it a darker line, give it a darker edge where you want the darker bits. Before shading, obviously. Remember, this arm here was hidden behind. Try not to give him too much of a boob, because we're going to do breasticles in a moment. He's got more of a chest, puffed out sort of look to him. Then can you just basically fleshing out the sketch that you've already drawn, really? Giving it more of a defined lines everywhere. I like that. See what I'm doing here. Move you down a little bit. We're getting into the naughty bits. And because this is last page, guys, next week, I believe, is the beginning of the month. I believe. Next Monday. Well, 31st is on Monday. So Monday next week will be me catching up on some digital artwork. Or VR artwork that I've been trying to get around to doing. But I've been focusing a lot of time on Minecraft lately because I'm trying to build the Tower of Light. But I've done a little bit of VR artwork to go along with that. If you haven't checked it out, go and do so, guys. It is in the all VR playlists. Quite a few different builds, and I think I'm going to revisit them in November and create something a little bit spooky. I don't know why the hell I did that for his foot. We've done everything now. Gone over the. Let's put these feet in. Again, we're not focusing too much on detail on the feet. We're just putting them in. Okay, let's zoom back out. Let's have a look. So we've got. Let's get you a bit higher so you can see. Going higher and higher. There you go. All right. You can see the difference now between a sketch line and an ink line. Ink line is a lot more deeper. It's a lot more. There's a lot more to it. A whole lot more to it. Just gonna add a little bit of darkness in there. Nope, I'm not, because I'm gonna fuck it up. I mean, oh shit. I mean, darn, I can't swear here, can I? We're on a happy days. No swearing day. Because we're doing artwork. I'm just gonna add in a few bits here and there for the shoulder blades. You can't see them, but I can. I'm going to put in a little bit more detail on this because it is ink. I'm able to do so. Trying to not follow too much. I know put a bit of some in there. Define his arm. A bit shite. Again, you really don't need to, but I'm going to, aren't I? Give me a nipple. Give him a couple nipples. Oh shit, there goes a bit. Give him a belly button. Do I need to go in there? I do. Maybe if it to define the line a little bit. It's enough. Just faffing at the moment, guys. Just faffing. Just gonna make the musculars a bit more muscular. And a few different, just little lines here and there. Nothing great. Just to sort of tone out the thing and flesh it out a little bit more. A few lines here and there. I'm tempted, very tempted, to get rid of the sketch lines now I've done this. So we just when we ink, we just flesh out, go around the outside of everything, and as you go further in, again, you've noticed I've put just a few details. Again, we're just doing body types. We're not doing great lifestyle, lifelike, or as close to life as I'll be able to get it in a quick sketch. So that's the male. Let's just move over to the female part. Well, she's got a slightly different figure, as you can see here. She's obviously got the upper body with the mammary glands, and then when it comes to the hips, our hips are slightly wider than the males here, which obviously is for childbirth and things like that. So she kind of, when you draw female, you should kind of keep that in mind, that she's very similar to the male, where you would draw a male, but a few different details. And for one, the arms are generally a lot more slender, the legs are a lot more slender, and the neck and the sort of midsection, again, we're only drawing a particular type. We're not drawing this is a woman, this is how a woman looks. All only work the woman looks as she looks, but I've drawn a slender person just because it's just that easier. We'll start going around the female. If you see the little two balls, you've got the larger and the smaller ball to give you a guideline of where you can't, because I haven't moved it up. You see the two balls here, one there and one there. You've got the larger and the smaller, where the how you would shape the head. You start with the larger and then go with the smaller, and where the neck sort of meets it, and that's how you would do the head shape. But I showed you and I taught you how to do all that in the last video, guys. Again, I can't stress how much you need to go and check that one out before you really finish watching this one. Confident lines. I am not confident drawing weak female. Can you tell? I'm not going to give her nipples, that'll be rude. Not doing rude pictures. I don't really do rude. Don't really do many female. I'm trying to get off doing males. Trying to go a little bit abstract. No, that's the wrong word. Off idea. On the side note, that if you do want to learn how to do faces and other parts of the body, past two, we are on number 3. The past 2 streams we're teaching you how to draw different shape, different ways of different things for the face and the hands. And that was all last week, guys. Go and check that one out. And again, it's in the Creation Station playlist. Everything I do gets put there. Or everything I draw by hand, I should say. I'm totally happy with this. Not even when I've now inked it. Trying to keep her slender. I don't want to give her loads of muscle tone. Women do have muscle tone, and they have it in a similar way to a male, obviously because of the human body, but again, it's just slender bits and bobs here and there, just little slight changes. There we go. The 2 figures. Give you a bit higher. The two figures with the male and female. Again, there's a lot more muscle tone and features there. I could put a little bit of muscle tone on a woman, but I don't really know how it works on their pecs and things like that. They do have them, because I've seen some very strange pictures of women. They've got more muscles than men, but it just doesn't look right. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm biased. I like a woman to look like a woman, or a typecast woman. Sorry, typecast woman. Oh, typecast. Let's have a drink before I shut up. I'm gonna shut my mouth. Shush. Right then. What else can I do to this female figure to make her look a bit more female? There isn't need to put muscle structure in, because again, it's a lot slender form. Maybe a little bit on the leg here. Maybe a little line here for her leg, just to sort of show that she's got leg muscles. There really isn't much I can do here. Just give her a few shoulder blade indents. Yeah. Yeah, there isn't much you can do to that. The one I've drawn here. If you want to experiment more with yourself, then experiment with yourself. That's the wrong thing to say when you're drawing a woman. Yeah. So if you want to experiment and try different techniques and try putting different lines of muscle tone, for all purposes, guys, you can completely do a female figure, but turn it in. Use the male figure as well. Mix the two together, so you've got a muscular woman and a slender man. So swap back and forth. The same principles work when it comes to muscle structure. It also comes the same with the female muscle structure. So if you do a slender person, you tend to not put loads of muscle structure in. There's no need for it, because you're trying to draw a slender person, whereas a muscular person, you put that little bit bulge on the arm section, whereas the arms here are very, very much slender. The hips, as you can see, these are standing in a pose with going towards that way, but she's also looking that way, but her hips are still ever so slightly wider. You don't necessarily always have to incorporate the bum. I've kind of given her a flat bum and more of a hip.
Oh. Hey Google, play my meditation playlist. Okay, playing your meditation playlist.
Turn that down. If you remember what I showed you, this quick little thing up here, how to draw front on sort of breast, where it's more of a this kind of shape, and you'd loop it around, and you'd imagine this piece here was looped around, and I'm going to put that pen away before I bugger things up. You remember this loop here is around her neck, and there's where it gives you a gauge to where you need to place the mammary glands. As I already had a picture to reference to do that piece, and that's what I've used to draw this piece, this one and this one. We've done all of the inking now. I am going to leave the pencil underneath, because I think it kind of helps to show you where you still need to put your arms, legs, and things, and gives you an idea of whereabouts you're going to put that. And it works in. I don't know about that spear. I'm going to leave that in pencil. I think it's just a gesture while standing in that sort of pose, like I said I was going to do. So I guess we can just start shading, but if I start shading, we're going to lose some stuff. I don't even know where the light source is. Light source is coming from this one. Bodies are a little bit different to doing just single pieces, like a hand or a foot or things like that. You've got to incorporate the shape everywhere on the body. Just looking for my black felt tip that I've been using. There it is. It's really, really good for shading. I do have another one here, which I'm looking for. And I could use use pencil. Should we do 2 different shades? We do pencil and we'll do pen as well, like we have been. And there's another black one. We'll do that. Didn't really plan ahead myself. I have been, but I didn't today. What an idiot. And tomorrow we'll be using these pens again. They're absolutely crap. I can't buy any more yet. I have found myself some nice Copic markers, which I thought those pens were. I was told they were Copic, not brush pens, but markers. They're just markers with a little bit of Copic pen in there. So we're going to do shading today, and that advert to finish. There we go. Put some music on and get on with shading. Where should we have the light source coming from? We'll have the light source here, I think. And we'll have her light source like that. So we're going to be light source. So the light's going to be coming up here. We don't need shading much on this side, but we'll need shading on this side. So we'll start gently gesturing it in, just going over it quickly. In the lower areas, we'll put a lot more color. Well, a lot more shading. Sorry. And as we go around, we'll go darker and darker and darker until we get to the top again. Again, this is probably still going to get bounced with light. Under here won't be, because under here is shaded by the head. So we're keeping all the shade onto the left-hand side of this picture. A little bit shade in there, a little bit in there as well, and a little bit down in here. We'll say the light source is coming down at that angle. Because it's coming down at that angle, we can use a little shade down here. And we can still add shade in the areas where you think the arm's definitely covering the right hand side of the chest. So we can do a little bit, but not loads, because we're not covering it up. We're only showing that it's light is being bounced, but it's not hitting it. Again, down here, it's going to have a lot of shade because it's coming. I would say it's coming from the behind him. We'll do ever so slightly underneath here. Keeping all the shade here on this side. I'm doing the line method right now. You can do the line method. We got three different ways that I personally know how to do. You can do lines like so, or you can do crisscross lines, which gives it a deeper line, or you could just start in the lower areas and go like that. We'll move down to the legs here. Again, this leg is facing away. More likely, not going to have much light bouncing on it. We'll start on the edges, like we did before, and we'll make our way out. Again, it's going to be a lot darker than the other leg because it is covered by the other leg. Can't see what I'm doing. It's covered by the other leg. You incorporate that in. Where it would be shaded, you're going a little bit darker. And then as you come closer to the light, that shade starts to disappear. You can't see what I'm doing again. In the belly area. With shade, you can also shape the character. So you curl your shade. Muscle tone, you get a little bit darker in there because you've got a little bit of coverage from the light. Purely because of the way the muscle folds over the skin. Is that folds? Is that the right word? I wouldn't say wraps over the muscle, the skin. I'm talking. I was wearing the skin over his Mac wooden whatever. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Right, so the head. And then the body there. It's all in pencil. We did a bit of the head again. The light source is bouncing down towards his shoulder, and so we've only got that much. I would say light source is hitting him. So as you sort of look down, sort of imagine how a light cone would be. So a light cone is always like so, as the light's coming from, and the cone is just as if a spotlight was on the person. So the light is going down here, and it's only going to be hitting this side of the character, not hitting the other side of the character. So you can still do the head because the head is turned. Just follow the head round to where the light source is. It's as if you're trying to draw a circle up to where the light is. So it's half circles. Keep with half circles. Gently, 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 near until you don't need it anymore. There you go. We've got one shaded character. I'm going to put a little bit more there, a little bit more there, a little bit more here, like so. Maybe a smidge here. And I do like shading, so I'll be here for hours if I don't stop. But you guys can do as much shading as you like. You can carry on. I haven't done any shading on the hand. You can do as much shading as you like, or as little as you like. I would say you're going to try and sort of make it look a little bit pop. You want to make it look, yeah, you know, make it. You don't have to make it realistic, but it just looks a lot better if you put a little bit of shading on. Whatever you're doing, you can draw an apple, you can draw a cup, you can draw a fan, you can draw a stereo, you can draw a pen. It all has shading, guys. It always works exactly the same as anything you're going to be shading. You're always going to be using your light source. Your light source is always going to be bouncing off a certain area, and there's always going to be a light source cone, which I'm trying to do. You can't see. Yeah, so you always got a light source cone, and it matters how much light you want to be giving out or how little light you're coming out. You could be just a beam of light, which if the beam was like there, all of this would be lit up, and all of this would be in darkness. So it'd be a lot more shaded and things like that. So yeah, experiment, guys. Draw yourself a picture, draw yourself 2 or 3 pictures, and have a go at shading before you get into really getting into the real nitty gritty of the color and things like that, which we'll be doing tomorrow. I'm going to be using pencils and pens once again for shading and stuff like that. So let's move on to shading of ink. I'll be using a felt tip. This felt tip is running out, and if you've been watching any of the other streams, you'll know this pen is brilliant for shading. It wouldn't be brilliant for shading if it was a full-on black and it wasn't run out. But as you can see, this pen is a little bit fluffy on the end. It's a bit knackered, so that makes it perfect for shading, because you don't want to have a heavy line when you shade. I mean, you can do comic style shading, which personally I don't really get, and without seeing a reference. It's sort of, I've learned how to shade like this, and that's how I sort of bring it across with ink and pen. Maybe I'll do a video of the difference between ordinary shade, lifestyle shading, and comic shading, but for now I'm going to be using this pen and doing that again. The light source is here. Draw that in a second. Light source is here, and the light source again will be in a cone. There's your cone. Is it? There's a light and it's shining down. Same as over here. So instead of using pencil, we'll be using that pen. We're using same techniques, very, very similar techniques to what we just did. But with pen, you go down here with this first. Females again, there isn't loads of muscle tone. We're just doing bits here and there. You notice how I'm actually pushing down quite hard, but because this pen's run out, basically, it only gives me a small amount. It doesn't give me loads of pen, which is good. Can you hear that music? Let me know in the comment section. Just going down the whole side of it. This pen first to start with, because this is the thicker of the two, darker of the two, sorry. I still need to add more light. Mounting. Same idea what we just did. It's a little bit different because we're using pen. I've just turned that pen over now because we've got double-sided ones, and this one's more of a fat out, but this one does give me a lot more ink to shade with. Pen is never great. Okay. Fill the base. Again, that arm is covering up this part of her body. So we'll put that shade in. Well, it doesn't mean it's covering up the whole of the thing, but it is stopping the light from getting to this part of the body. So we'll make sure that you can see that. I would say this part as well is a little bit darker. We're coming across okay? I think it is. Yeah, so we'll... Again, heavy light. So heavy light. Same as a pencil when you're using the pen that I'm using.
Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, I was interrupting again, are you? All right, go away then. Fine. Okay, so we're getting to the top half of the female figure. Again, we've got shading from where the breasts will be covering up the body. You put a little bit shading in there, not loads, because the light is going to be hitting all of this side of the body. We need to give her shape. The best way to do is always with a little bit of shading. Underside will also be slightly darker, but we don't go too far up because the light is here, hitting here. Sorry if you can hear a buzz in the background. That's the radio waiting for the advert to stop. We're getting there with figure. Again, her neck is going to be covered up with the light will be covered up, sorry, by her neck or her head. And same here with the head. Light source is hitting her from the side above. So we add in where we need it. Again, heavier, heavier, heavy, light. In fact, that's not heavy enough. So what I'm going to do is turn the pen over again. Go with a darker line here. They tell you that is the darker edge. Start going around everything that we've already drawn again, just so we've got definite definition between the lighter shade and the darker shade. What I could do is, if that's not looking great, because it's not looking great, you can get your Sharpie out. You can get your other pen out. I'm just going to test what this is like a second. Yeah, it's got a little bit more darker. So this is a brush pen. It's designed for thinner areas, but it's also helpful for larger areas as well. I wouldn't go and get these brush pens and expect to draw color in a whole page or a thing. You won't be able to, guys. I've tried. The pen just runs out really quickly. Just gently suggesting it now. Be real careful what you do. Gently suggesting it. Being real gentle on the page now. Because I don't want to colour it in. I just want a few gestured darker lines on the side of it. You can see here. Might put a few, because it's so dark on this side, I might put a little bit on this side of her leg as well. I would say this isn't actually getting much light as well. And here, some more of a top light source. We can really start using that to our advantage. Like so. A little bit darker here. It just gives you that little bit more of a darker line. Looks that little bit better. Because that other pen wasn't working, I don't think, not as well as I wanted it to. This is actually working a lot better to what I was trying to say. Yeah, there's the two light sources, two different ways of colouring in. Sorry, not colouring in, what I'm talking about. Two different ways of shading. We're doing colour tomorrow, guys, as we always do, because Wednesday's always colour day. And today was inking. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. And if you want to learn how to sketch this, guys, don't forget to click the links that will appear after the live stream has finished being live. Or you can just, if you're watching, go over to the Creation Station playlist and check out all the other artworks that I've shown you how to draw, how to do different things, and when I've done my original character, Blue Angel. If you haven't already checked him out, guys, we're getting on with him. And I've done a whole load more stuff for you guys. If you're a fan of Spidey, if you're a fan of drawing wings, there's one of my favorite drawings of wings. And a fairy sort of thing with practicing hands. These were digitized, guys. There's me winged thing. That one there is my favorite, and that was from last November. With a bit of Mulan. Definitely, if you want to go and check them out, guys, everything I've drawn, how to draw, and everything in that fashion as well. Let's get to there. We did, what was it? Mermaid. If you know anything about Mermaid, we did a little picture. I picked 3 different references. Or was it? No, a whole week's worth of references and put it all in one book. Or one picture, sorry. As Endgame come about. That's part of crap. I did all of that in one day. That's why I teamed stages. And yeah, there's Blue Angel, guys. If you haven't been checking him out, he has been digitized. So he looks a little bit more shiny. And there's the original picture that I drew at the very beginning of the book. But we are at the end of the book, and I'm showing you guys how to shade and how to sketch in the last few pages. Again, if you can check out the other ones that we're learning how-tos, gone some hands and feet, done some eyes and mouths, nose and head shapes. I'm going to shade those as well. Tomorrow we'll be colouring in. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. My name is Blut084, BLUT 084 Art and Games. Let's give you a quick zoom up. For the shading of the male, we'll draw in pencil. Try to do it slow because the camera. Again, the light source was coming from the top. That's why I shaded all on that side. And for the female, we did it all in pen. 2 different pens, same way to shade. Both together. Yeah, hopefully enjoyed it, guys. I know I always do enjoy doing simple things like this, and I love to show you guys, and hopefully you can show me what you've been getting up to. If you do, come over to Instagram. Same name, different place. Bye for now.